Hearty chut chut, Star Wars fans. It is turning out to be quite the nice 2022 so far, with Chapter 2, Book of Boba Fett, The Tribes of Tatooine. Chapter 2 begins with Fennec Shand leading the assassin she caught in Chapter 1 by leash back to the palace. I like to think that he has tested Fennec on the way to his interrogation, and she has just put him in his place time and time again. She seems so very unimpressed that he is from the expensive Order of the Night Wind. She says he's overpriced and just somebody in a hood. Mr. Nightwind is playing tough when asked, "Who sent you?" until threatened by the Rancor, and that confirms he is Fennec's bitch, as well as the suspicion that he was sent by the mayor. Now, this non-reveal or reveal, depending on how you look at it, it hurt for multiple reasons. We didn't get to see the Rancor munch on the assassin, plus as a Black Series collector who had funded the Rancor and had tons of ideas, it hurts, but I'm still hopeful we might get it someday. I love here as Boba and company travel to see the mayor. The Trandoshans are looking at Boba still like, this mother won't ride the litter. What is he doing? But Boba comes from the life of a bounty hunter, not a royal. As the group enters the mayor's establishment, they are met with signs of disrespect from the major domo. He tries to wave Boba off, but after a nice back to session, Boba is all business. He assesses the room, sees no threats, and says, "I'm going to see the mayor. Stop me if you can." He is quite obviously done with people treating him as if he's not the true daimyo of Mos Espa. The Ithorian mayor named Mos Shaiz, I thought came off as clever and experienced. The gangster tone of this series, which I am loving, is beginning to be set here. Mos Shaiz will not be pushed around, and who knows how long he has been mayor. He answers Boba's threats with one of his own. Running a family is more complicated than bounty hunting. Then instructs Boba that there is more information at his new friend Garsa's place, the Sanctuary. This is the point in Chapter 2 where things started moving very quickly. As soon as Boba tells Garsa, "You're sweating like a Gupta on Mustafar," I know what Mustafar is, but what's a Gupta? And then 5 seconds later, we're talking about the Hutts? Twins? What? I don't have any time to digest that before the drums. Seeing the Hutts was on my wish list because it just made sense. I was in disbelief even though my eyes were seeing it. And so soon in Chapter 2, the twins showed what the Hutts are all about. Being paraded around on the litter by 12 suffering souls. The only movement besides their mouths and their eyes are to reach into the little bucket and grab a creature and do whatever they want with it. There are for sure a few more things about the twins to talk about, but there is much more to this memorable moment than just them. This type of exchange, spoken in Huttese, is so sweet to see. The twins present Boba with a data tablet declaring that they run this territory, and he tells them You know damn well that's not how we do business. Take that data tablet and your two slimy asses back to Nal Hutta. He is standing firm as the daimyo of Mos Espa. We then get to see how the twins operate. It looks like the female twin is very aggressive and needs the male to kind of chill her out. And then the male who's kind of chill needs her for some aggression. They decide to just flex the hired gun instead of spilling blood with so many eyes around. At this point in Chapter 2, I was just so enthralled with the Hutts that when they brought a Wookiee into the mix, I was having an emotional overload of holy shit. Because on this channel, we love, protect, and adore Wookiees. Full disclosure, I am no lore expert, so before doing research, he was just the most menacing Wookiee I've ever seen. And now I know that Black Chrysanthemum probably is the most menacing Wookiee. He is the opposite of a nice, friendly, Chewbacca-like Wookiee. The body language as he approaches Boba suggests a prior history. If looks say it all, then Black Chrysanthemum was saying to Boba, "This isn't over, we will have our battle." I mean, I know Star Wars has had some cliffhangers go unexplained, but this cannot be one of them. Please give me more Black Chrysanthemum soon. Please. Next up, we are diving into more dreams while Boba heals in the Bactapod. These dreams are of his time with the Tuskens. Following the rescue of the child from Chapter 1, we see Boba is now learning the ways of the Gaffi Stick. His teacher is who I believe to be the female leader of this Tusken tribe. She is tough but fair on Boba. Check out here how his hand position is much more narrow than his teacher's. She gives him a good schmack to indicate technique, Boba, technique. It is not all about power with the Gaffi Stick. He is progressing his knowledge while the sun's set until a passing train grabs the Tusken's attention. Blaster shots are exchanged as Boba tries to protect the vulnerable Tuskens from the train. We then see the train is pike operated, and boy, you don't want to be messing with them pikes. They are one of the most ruthless and persistent enemies you can make. As we see the number of Tuskens that do not make it out of the quick but deadly action. You can tell Boba feels some type of guilt watching the Tuskens' emotions over the loss of others. He knows that the crime world he used to live and operate in is responsible for this. Boba approaches the leader of this Tusken tribe to tell him that he has a plan to stop the train. And we are treated to Star Wars history. Tusken Raider subtitles. The leader of this tribe is skeptical of Boba's plan with just a rifle and a stick, but he does not know that Boba used to deal with these types to earn a living. This is the world Boba knows, unlike the one he's learning from the Tuskens about the ways of the sands. As he approaches the small cantina, he adjusts his mindset back into bounty hunter. One small moment I enjoyed before the action began was Boba looking around and kind of acknowledging he hasn't been inside a building for a long time. But he does not have long to indulge as the Niktos are ready for the brawl. What ensues is a one-man rampage as Boba goes through this gang untouched. Also, a small part of me, as he's laying the beatdown, wonders if one of those Niktos was saying, "Did we just get our ass kicked by a clone?" Exiting the cantina with just his stick left, we get to see some of the ingenuity that made Boba one of the most feared bounty hunters in the galaxy. He is going to teach the Tusken Raiders how to ride speeder bikes. This reminds me that Boba used to be the leader of a crew. He knows what it takes to pull off a heist, but now his crew are Tuskens. They are light on resources, but when the train appears, they are ready to ride. Pretty much all I have to say about the train scene is that the Lady Tusken, whether lady or not, whatever we find out, this is the top Tusken we've ever seen. We could meet more tribes in future projects, but as of this recording, this one is going to be hard to beat for the undisputed title of Top Tusken. The train heist concludes with Boba telling the Pikes to go back and tell their leaders that they are no longer allowed to travel free on the sands of Tatooine. Now, if you wish to travel, a toll will have to be paid, which is still in effect 5 years later during Mandalorian Season 1, Chapter 5. Shout out to Big Mike Edits for pointing out that passage of time between the two series on his TikTok. The post-heist celebration by the Tuskens leads you to believe that this could be a once-in-a-lifetime victory. The tribe returns to their homelands, where we see Boba is now sitting inside the big teepee, signifying he is even closer to the tribe, possibly one of their own. The subtitled storytelling had me in awe as we learn a bit more of Tusken history. Plus, we are witness to another trick of the Tuskens, which I am becoming a very big fan of. You all saw it, it was awesome, but I'm gonna give you my interpretation of the psychedelic voyage that Boba goes on. As the lizard does its thing inside Boba's head, this Tusken is looking at Boba, nodding his head as if to say, "Oh yeah, he's feeling it. He's wading into the murky, deep waters." The lizard guides him through the night sands to a tree. There is no hiding the truth from the tree. I think you have to address your deepest, darkest, internal issues. Boba is going through the issue of abandonment. After his father Jango dies, he is alone. During the Clone Wars, he is a desperate teen in need of a guiding hand. When he is at Jabba's palace, pre-Sarlacc, he's alone. When he gets eaten by the Sarlacc, there's nobody there as backup to come get him. When he fought to get out of the Sarlacc, he had surrendered to a lonely death. But now, after being revived by the Tuskens and shared living through these events, Boba is getting feelings of trust and family he maybe has not had since Jango was around. He is being reshaped as he sheds his Sarlacc-singed jumpsuit for new tailored Tusken robes and his very own handcrafted gaffy stick. This is Boba Fett's final form, ready to be unleashed upon the galaxy. What a beautiful chapter in this series. If you have any thoughts you would like to share, please leave them in the comments. Thank you for stopping by my channel. I hope you are happy and healthy, and you keep your Star Wars genes high and tight.